Department is looking at tightening up some of the rules and regulations that relate to them. And Max, I don't know if you've been following the eastern Colorado, western Nebraska drone sightings here over the past several months.
Those have been evening sightings, a bunch of them, a group of drones.
Yes, flying over the territory.
Understandably, there are the safety concerns because of medical helicopters, but the feds say we want to know who's flying those, who is actually the owner of those drones. So they're going to tighten the regulations. The concern is, could they tighten them too much? Chad Colby has the report.
Can you believe it's been nearly 10 years since we started using drones in agriculture? My, how time flies. The challenge, though, has always been, how do we operate them safely within our national airspace? And some of you may remember the 333 exemption, or now the Part 107. Those are the rules and guidelines we operate under. And last week at the Consumer Electronics Show, it gave me a great opportunity to A, check out some new technology, but most importantly, catch up with a lot of friends in the industry. Some of them have been around since the inception. One of those is Brendan Schulman. He's Vice President of Policy and Legal Affairs at DJI. And we were really quick to talk about the FAA's new initiative. It's called Remote ID. It's like a license plate system for a drone. And I sat down with Brendan and he explained it.
So Remote ID is actually a really important initiative because it's something that the security agencies of the United States as well as the FAA really need to make sure that people who fly drones can be accountable and that the kinds of things they worry about, like safety and security concerns, can be addressed. However, the proposal that we've seen from the FAA is very burdensome. It requires you to do remote ID in two different ways, both a network-based approach, which involves monthly service subscriptions, as well as a broadcast from the drone, a radio broadcast. Now, we believe that the radio broadcast is the simplest and easiest way to do it, because once it's on board your drone, you never have to worry about it again. It's just there when you turn it on. So what's really important in the coming weeks is for everybody to go and file comments, very thoughtful comments about what you do with drones, how will this proposal impact you, and be constructive. These have to be comments about how to solve the remote ID challenge without unduly burdening all the great things that people are doing with drones across the country, particularly in agriculture, but also in other endeavors. And if you submit those comments, please do it before March 2nd. Talk to people about what you might think about saying. There's a great resource called the Network of Drone Enthusiasts. That's nodecampaign.org. If you sign up there over the coming weeks, I anticipate there'll be information and tips and sort of a guideline to how to get those comments done and filed before March 2nd.
As you can see, if you're a drone user, you should be paying very close attention to remote ID. You have between now and March 2nd to leave your comments. And trust me, I understand in agriculture, I hear this line all the time. Hey, Chad, I want to do beyond line of sight. I want to fly more acres. I want to do easy night operations, all those things. Remote ID is that next step in regulation that's going to help us get to some of the more demanding flights that we need. Most importantly, if you use drones, take this opportunity to leave your comments for the FAA. As they assured me at the Consumer Electronics Show, they're going to look at each and every one of those comments. For This Week in Agribusiness, I'm Chad Colby.
Those websites, let me give those to you again. If you want to comment on the drone regulations, one is nodecampaign.org. That'll give you some guidance. And of course, then there's the FAA website, faa.gov. It's interesting to see how we've become so reliant upon the drones. They provide a lot of great input.
But we got to keep them out of the airspace. Max, you're traveling this next week, aren't you?
We're at the Farm Bureau meeting, of course, and then we'll be coming back. I'll share some stories with you from there. Look forward to seeing you next weekend.
Thank you much, Max.
We look forward to seeing you, too. Thanks for joining us on This Week in Agribusiness. Have a great week, everyone.
Closed captioning for This Week in Agribusiness is brought to you by Kubota. Shape your world. This Week in Agribusiness has been brought to you by Pioneer and ADM.